My lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Made for Love, and today we are exploring your soul contract with your person and exactly where you guys at this present time. Okay? Um before we get into this, let me start a shuffle. On the 9-9 portal, there are two things that are happening. One, at 9 a.m., we have the reactivation of Sacred Sites session. It's going to be streamed both on this channel, my channel, Made for Love, and on Yari's channel, Third Eye Yari. Okay? And what we're going to be doing is, with the permission of the divine, reactivate sacred sites around the world. And we're hoping that we get enough people on that live, especially enough international people on that live who are willing to assist along with whatever light beings that are resident or attached to those sites, to help in the reactivation of either the sacred site that is nearest to them or the sacred site that they have always been drawn to, their favorite sacred site. Okay, so if you are interested in doing anything for the planet, you're a grid worker, light worker, root worker, or you're just interested in the elevation of the planet, archaeology, whatever it is, interested in doing something for humanity, please join us at that session. It's not going to go beyond an hour. I think it's going to take a half an hour, just allowing time for different things that might crop up. Because I mean, we have, a script, and the script looks like it's going to be about half an hour. But then in that moment, like what will the guides and the other light beings guide us to do? So we have to allow time for that. Okay. And then at 11 a.m., we have the spiritual recalibration for Twin Flames class, where I teach you how to clear, repair, and ground and protect your twin connection using charts and the pendulum. And you don't have to have any kind of particular knowledge for this. I have a lot of time if I need to teach you how to use the pendulum. So that class is still open for sign up. I'll put the links down below. All right, so let's look at the foundation of your contract. So the first thing we're going to look at is, what is the foundation of the contract, or what does Spirit want to show us about this contract at this time? And immediately underneath the deck, we have the Six of Swords, and it says the sands of time. Feels like a soap opera. So the foundation of this contract and what it is right now, and what has always been throughout millennia, is it's about healing. It's about healing. Across time and space, this contract is about healing and moving on from toxic habits, dysfunctional habits, the patterns of our ancestry that may have been dysfunctional, or own personal patterns. It's always been about healing. All right. So we're going to ask Spirit, what is the foundation of the contract between viewer and their person? We're asking for 4 cards. So this is not all the contract. This is what Spirit wants to highlight to us today. What's the foundation? We have birth in reverse, and it's a card number 4. Now, this is the Akashic Tarot. It is not like other tarot decks. Okay, so we have birth in reverse, and it's a card number 4. So we're looking at what's meant to happen. We have 8 of Forces, a lightning bolt striking that tree. Okay, and for me, trees are always about our ancestry. So it's a reminder again that we're not just doing our personal healing, right? Whatever healing we're going to do, and whatever elevation we get, enlightenment we get, awakenings we get, shakes up a family tree as well. So we have the lightning bolt. I want to put it where you guys can see if I can give myself space, because we're going to go up like a pyramid. Okay, so this is the base of the pyramid here. We have the, and just as I said, pyramid, and you guys know I see the Akasha like a pyramid. We have the Akashic Library, a card number 2. And we have card number 15, and it is the Muse, right? Which is about all talents or creativity. 15 reduces to 6, so also about the lovers. I'll pull cards on these, but let me tell you what I'm getting right away. Alrighty. So right away, I am seeing that this lineup that I have here is a progression. Let me just shift it a little more this way, so that that Muse card is not going to be hidden, because this is where you guys may be at right now. So what's meant to happen in this particular lifetime is that you guys are meant to come into this lifetime and experience a rough childhood. It's right here. Okay, upright, we have beauty, we have these children, happy and gay, and just fun and just carefree, moving towards the sun is absolute happiness. But in the reverse, this talks about a child disrupted. So a lot of you may have faced some sort of childhood abuse, some sort of disruption in your childhood, a child interrupted, whether parents may have been divorced, there might have been a lot of interesting things happen in the family, but it's a situation where you can't find your footing. You can't find your footing to thrive. There's some incident that disrupts that childhood. Okay? And that disruption continues. That disruption and the legacy of that disruption continues until you guys have this awakening here. This bolt of lightning. Now, this awakening could symbolize when you guys met. You guys may have felt a bolt of lightning. Or it could be just your awakening happened within you. That awakened your power, your spiritual power. And that spiritual power activated everything that was here in the Akasha for you, the inheritance that your ancestors left for you. So it activated everything. Okay? All the wounding, all the pain, all the trauma, everything came to the fore. But remember, your ancestry, your past lives didn't just give you gifts of pain, right? And give you gifts of healing, right? Abundance, right? They didn't just leave pain for you. So it looks like right now, because I feel this is divided into these two, right? So there's pre-awakening and awakening, and then there's after. And I feel like this is where you guys are at in the after, where you have downloaded through your DNA strands the different things that your ancestry has left for you, the different things that you have brought over from past lives, and you're here about to create something, because we have the muse. So you're here in this place of inspiration. And remember, we kept getting like a stock record, spirit talking about something creative that you're meant to ground, something that you're meant to birth. So something that's going to kind of counteract this birth in reverse. So for some of you guys, you may be moving into a phase of your life where you're going to birth children. But for most of you guys, you're going to move into a phase in your life where you're birthing a legacy. You're going to be inspired to birth a legacy. This is where you guys are, where you're going to turn your pain, these demons, the devil, into joy, into beauty. 15 will turn into 6, the vibration of love. So this is where you guys are at right now, turning your pain, turning your own inner demons, your fears, into the vibration of love. Which I feel like I'm gonna say it anyways. Which I feel like is what I am doing right now. Now, when I was a child, I and I still am to an extent, right? Deathly afraid of the dark. Deathly afraid of the dark. Um, where things have always happened to me there, right? I lived in a haunted house. I grew up in a haunted house. It's an old sugar mill. It's more than 600 years old, right? So you can imagine the kind of activity happening there. And then at one point, they used to use that sugar mill as a church, and then there was a graveyard in the back of the church. So you can imagine all the different interesting things that would happen in the night. So I've always been afraid of the dark. I've always been afraid of ghosts, of spirit, all the different ways that spirit will manifest, demonic entities. I've always been deathly afraid. But now I'm turning those fears into the vibration of love through my spirit release therapy and then all these different modalities that I am grounding. So for me, looks like I'm on track, right? So you have to look in your life and see where you are turning your fears. And if you want to comment down below, I'd love to hear where you're turning your fears and grounding something beautiful for the earth, for the planet. So grounding something beautiful as your legacy. So maybe you're afraid of your spiritual gifts, and now you're here and you're actually doing work and making a living out of it. It's something like that. But we're all meant to turn our fears into something beautiful, right? Or turn our addictions into something beautiful. So maybe you were in addiction, some sort of substance abuse, and now maybe you mentor or you're a sponsor in some sort of support group, or you've started your own NGO, whatever it is. I feel this is what we're talking about right now. I don't feel so much like this is a love thing here, or although maybe your love story is going to be inspiring to other people. This definitely could be that, but I feel like it's like that time to burst something, and that's what I'm getting. Okay, what lessons or blessings are you guys receiving right now? What lessons are you learning, or what blessings are you receiving right now? I'm going to get 2 for each person. Underneath the deck, we have Native American. And every time I see this card, I always think about indigenous healing modalities. I think about herbal medicine, shamanic medicine, shamanic practices, that kind of thing. So, harnessing the power of the spiritual self. All right, so on this side, it's going to be Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine, what lessons or blessings? We have vows. So interesting that this is going to come up because I just changed, just last week actually, the protocol for my spirit release therapy sessions in class, and I added in vows and contracts as possibly being hindrances to a person being sovereign. So we have vows, and with those vows, we have trust and faith. Okay? And we have Divine Masculine. We have angels. That's beautiful. And we have the scribe or the writer. But I always think that this is something creative, where we're taking something, an inspiration from the ethers, and making it manifest in the 3D, like, the pen being the medium, and that energy passing through the person's body, flowing into the pen, and then making manifest on that paper. So what am I getting from this? So let's look at the divine feminine. She's here in vows and trust and faith. So I see these as two separate things. These vows, I think she is realizing how, or coming into the awareness that there may be past life vows or vows that we may have made in the past in this lifetime that may be affecting her ability to move forward or her ability to thrive, especially in the material world. Okay. Now, every time I see these vows, I think of vows of poverty. And there's so many. I have a comprehensive rescind and revoke you can have a look at on my website as one of the meditations. But the main ones that I get when I see that card, vows of poverty, right? And how they can keep us in poverty consciousness throughout lifetimes. But vows of chastity, where we have a weird relationship with our sexuality. We're out of balance with our sexuality, whether we are running from it, running from it, or abusing it. I think about vows of silence, where when it's sustained through time, we are afraid to speak our truth. We are afraid to put our authentic selves out there. Okay, we're afraid to be who we truly are inside. Okay, and God, what's the last one? Vows of poverty, chastity. I can't remember the main last one. Anyways, it'll come to me. But there, besides those vows, there may be other vows that we make consciously or unconsciously that can also affect our sovereignty and also impact our lives. For example, marital vows. And let's say you get divorced or something like that, right? We've made these vows, but we don't do any kind of rescind and revoke, right? We destroy the marriage contract, but spiritually, we've not made a rescind and revoke. And these vows, they still persist. And sometimes we have trouble moving on from that relationship. Or we have trouble with our new relationships because our loyalties are still tied to that other person. Or we may simply say things like, I will never leave you, or I will always be here for you, or whatever it is. All these are vows, right? And then they keep, because we're not addressing them consciously, they keep persisting over time, and they're there acting as like strictures on our lives. So I think this is the divine feminine recognizing how they may have basically bound themselves by their words and their thoughts and kept themselves in a box. I think the divine feminine as well is learning a lesson about trusting and having faith in themselves. I'm talking about feminine energy, and having trust and faith in the universe to support their work and also to provide. Okay, especially when we're coming out of poverty consciousness, right? We really have to shift our thinking out of that hustling mode and, trusting that we are going to be supported and we are going to be provided for. Okay, so these are the lessons that divine feminine is learning at this time. Divine masculine is receiving a lot of angelic support at this time. A lot of angelic support, a lot of 5D support here. And it feels like this one. Look like Archangel Raphael. So this is about heart healing. But this can also be a lot of protection, as well as they kind of make their way towards their purpose and their destiny. They're talking about their infinite counsel surrounding and supporting them at this time. And that usually, if I remember correctly, they deal with your life purpose. So it feels like this is what they're moving into. And your person definitely could be a writer, but this writer card symbolizes one's creativity, one's natural talents, and bringing those natural talents to the fore and putting it out there in the world. So, in terms of the soul contract, the foundation of the soul contract that we saw, it looks like both counterparts are on track at this point in time. So, you guys, good job. Okay. Good job. You're doing exactly what you're meant to do at this time. In terms of the lessons that you're meant to learn. Where are you guys in the soul contract right now? So lessons on point. Why are you guys on point? You're learning what you're meant to learn. Let's see where you guys in the soul contract. So that's in terms of lessons. And let me just see in the broader soul contract where you guys at. Let's get 2 cards for each person. We have the 4 of Wands in reverse. So you are in autumn. Let me get another card on that. And the Ark of the Covenant, a card number 11 in reverse. They're saying the word abeyance. All right, I'll get into that in a moment. And divine masculine. They keep saying like there's a delay here. Like you're dragging your foot on this lesson here. You're dragging your feet on this lesson. This lesson is taking longer than they thought it would take. So this is like kind of on ice right now. Divine masculine. Well, somebody's on track. Like literally it says on track. So we have Ace of Swords. This is interesting. And we have 7 of Pentacles in reverse. The Ascent in reverse. I feel like this is movement. So like mentally on track, but in terms of movement, not doing shit. Okay, let's see what's going on here, guys. It feels like you guys are in a place of stagnation. Like know what you need to do, knowing what the lesson is, but not making movement. And that's what it feels like. So I heard abeyance for this. They're saying that this lesson here, you recognizing how these vows are affecting your life and trying to that exercise of restoring your trust and faith in people and restoring your trust and faith in the universe is taking longer than they thought it would take. So this here is being delayed. So what's being delayed? We have union energies, which is springtime. Okay. And then we also have this Ark of the Covenant. It's like an initiation into a higher realm, also being delayed because you're still learning this lesson here. Divine masculine, on track mentally, knows what's going on. There's an awareness of what's going on. There's an awareness of this journey. Look, we have here on the train track, but notice he ain't boarding. He ain't boarding, right? So there's an awareness of this journey, knows that he's meant to be on this journey with you, but not making the investment and not taking action. All right. So what is the remedy? I was going to ask the extended, but I feel like everybody needs to know, right? Let's ask what is the remedy for right now. In the extended, I'm going to look at where you guys will be a year from now. I'm going to look at the highest outcome based on your current energies. Advice to get into alignment or to remain in alignment. Messages from your person, and then we're going to get some messages from your higher self. But let me ask Spirit right now, what do you guys need to do right now to basically haul ass and get a move on? Right? So let's see what's happening. What do you guys need to do? Okay, let's ask Spirit. How to say don't use this? Say use this one. One moment, guys. I got to obey. All right, let's see what's happening here. All right, underneath the deck, we have the independent conspiracy, and that's I don't need anybody. And you kind of keeping yourself isolated. Interesting. Let's see how it feeds into this. All right, Spirit, what does divine feminine have to do to get in alignment right now? To move out of this abeyance energy. All right, we have sacrifice. All right, so divine feminine has to stop sacrificing her bloody self for everybody else, including the masculine. Has to stop sacrificing her dreams. Has to stop standing here waiting for him to join her. She has to continue on her journey. And some of the burden that divine feminine is carrying is not even her own. It's not even her own. It's baggage from her ancestry. It's baggage from the masculine. All sorts of other people's baggage, right? You just have to throw it off and continue with your ascent here. So for some of you, you've been sacrificing your happiness, sacrificing your dreams for other people, and maybe even a masculine spirit saying, stop it. Move on. Move on. It's like a mark in time, waiting for this person to show up. Spirit saying, move on. Let's see what does divine masculine have to do? So somewhere in your life, you've just been marking time, and you know that you're marking time. What does divine masculine have to do? He has to undo what he has done. All right. So it looks like there was a time divine masculine would have been in lower vibrational energies. For some of you guys, divine masculine was in some sort of addiction. It could be substances, it could be sex, it could be toxic relationships, whatever it is. There is some undoing that he has to do here, and you can't do this for him. There's something that he has to put an end to. Look at here, card number 73 reads to 10. In order for this new beginning to come, for that 10 to go to the 1, he has to undo it. He has to do that. You can't do that. He has to undo it. And you have to leave him to it. So whether it's a business that he built, or a job that he hates, or a relationship, or some kind of wall that he put up against you, and this connection, he has to undo it. And you have to leave him to that. And he knows that he has to undo it. You don't have to tell him. He knows what he has to do. He just has to do it. And you know what you have to do, and you know what you want out of life, and you just have to do it too. Okay? All right, let me get some advice, and then I'll go in the extended and flesh this out further. So we're going to look at 1 year from now. The highest outcome based on the current energies. What you need to do to get into alignment and to stay in alignment. What's the advice for you at this time? We have mentor. Listen, you need to ask for help. If you're feeling stuck, you don't know what to do, you need to ask for help. Your higher self, your person's higher self, your guides are there to give you a leg up, but they can't do anything if you don't ask. Okay? So stop being Mr. or Mrs. Independent and ask for help. What's the advice at this time? Whoa. Okay, it's for both of you guys. Let's see. We have pray. Okay, so right now, ask Spirit for help. Okay, ask Spirit for guidance. Um, ask Spirit to put the right words in your mouth at the right time. Right? So pray, meditate, listen to your own inner voice, and then receive that guidance. Okay, so you ask, right? When we pray, we're talking to Spirit, we're talking to God. But when we meditate, we receive. Okay, so ask and then create stillness so that you can receive the nugget of wisdom that's going to come at you. Okay, my love, so that was your reading. If you're interested to go deeper, join me in the extended. Otherwise, please join me on the 99 portal. Let's do that sacred sides. Thank you guys so much for all your love, all the support. Take care.